Hi everyone. Right, look, I have my Stanfordianum in bloom, so I thought, why not take advantage of it at this point and talk about it? I did include it in the GVOS 2020, but you know, it's in bloom, and I thought, let's have a little look and enjoy the blooms one more time, but with a little bit of background about it, how I care for it, and just general stuff like that. So this Stanfordianum I got from Schwerter, so let's just start out with that. And this is what I got, this growth with all these markings, which were kind of oozing at the point that I got it, but they've stopped now, so I'm very happy about that. Then it had this growth as well, so all the markings were in the other growth. It had this growth as well. So this is how the condition I got the plant in, with these three growths. Needless to say, I was not well pleased. Then it didn't do much for quite some time. I've had this now year and a half. Yeah, September 2019 I think was my Schwerter order. So it didn't do much, but I put it straight into the leca with a deposit there of self-watering. Then last summer it started to push out a new growth, which is this one right here, which I'm well pleased. I got some water into the crown, which I'm not well pleased about, and it did some damage but managed to pull through and grow anyway, so I'm quite happy about that. And here you can see the damage of when the leaf was forming that I did with that, putting water into the crown. So I gotta watch out for the next growth when it comes, not to do that again. But it managed to pull through. It's got some markings that I think it inherited from these guys, which I can't say what it is. I do treat it regularly now, but you know, we'll see what the next growth does. And then over the winter, it started to grow a spike. So the little ugly duckling has shown its potential and its beauty. Now this spike is nowhere near what it can actually do. The spikes here, this one is like a quarter of the size, and it has like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, maybe 15 blooms. And they can actually go to 50 to 70 blooms per spike. So this one is its first time blooming with me, and yeah, at least I can see what we're working towards and why it's worth taking this ugly duckling and seeing that I can't make it into something pretty. These guys are hot growers. Usually they have like seasonal dry forests, and to me, I interpret that for my conditions, that when it finishes blooming, I'm just gonna leave it be, not fill the reservoir up all the time too much, not fertilize it, and then when I see new growth, to me that would be the time then to start treating it as usual with nutrients, etc., etc. So I believe their dry forest, seasonal dry forest conditions would be after blooming. Leave it alone for a bit, let it rest. But it's quite interesting because this is an epidendrum, but the spike doesn't come out through the nodes of the top, the apex of the leaves. It actually comes out through the bottom. It starts to look like a new growth, but it's very much more pointy. You know, it's more like a spear shape, and then it just grows out of the bottom, and it's beautiful. Mine doesn't have much of a fragrance, possibly because it's the first time it's blooming, but I think that these are somewhat highly fragrant. And I'll let you know the next time I can get it to bloom what that fragrance is all about. So it does live on a top shelf with extremely high light, not direct sun because I don't want to stress it. I don't consider this mature enough to handle the heat the way that it can do out in nature based on all this here. So it has extremely bright light, but mainly it's in bright shade on the top shelf behind a screen. And it is quite thirsty. Once it starts to grow, it grows and will take that reservoir up really, really fast. I always put in 5.8 of pH for my RO water, and it comes, my fertilizer strength is about 200, 250. Pretty much all across the board. But now that it is established in its pot tug test, I could lift it up. So Epidendrum Stamfordianum. So the areas where they actually grow is Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador there, up to Mexico, all the way down to Colombia, Venezuela, including Belize and Costa Rica, in that area as well. So on the map, that's where you would find them out in their wild habitat. Little ugly duckling showing me that why it needs to stay in my collection. I absolutely love it. Now I wish the wind would stop. And especially with my editing and rendering, I hope this isn't distorted. They're very, very pretty blooms. Beautiful, beautiful markings. Absolutely love this. The shape, the colors, and then you've got that little naughty pink in the middle. Yeah, I love this plant. So if you are interested in something like this, then know that the spike will become a monster one day, and you need to accommodate it to let it grow pendant. Because really, the beauty of these is not to stake them, you just let them grow down. So I hope you enjoyed this little insight, a little bit of detail on an Epidendrum Stamfordianum. And thank you very much for watching. Hope everybody's having a good day, good evening, a good morning, whatever the case may be. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.